Okay, for the last step with this page, what we're going to need is a pair of scissors. Now, what you're going to do is you are going to be cutting along the lines so that the door opens. That means that you're going to need to cut carefully, take your time, and really think about what you're doing. You certainly don't want to have to do this all over again. Now, if you have an X-Acto knife at home and you have permission from your parents to use it, you are going to be able to just go right along the edges here, cut that, and open it. Now, when you do that though, if you are using an X-Acto knife, you want to have a piece of cardboard and you want to make sure that you only have one page laying on top of the cardboard. So you would put the cardboard underneath and then use the X-Acto knife to cut it out. You don't want to do it while it's on top of the visual journal, so it should just be one page. If you did it on top of the journal, obviously you would risk potentially cutting a big rectangle out here, which we don't want to have happen. So make sure that you get permission, that you think about it. If you need help, ask me in class, but take your time and be thoughtful about that. Make sure you have a piece of cardboard underneath, and again, that this isn't sitting on top of your journal when you cut it. All right, so most of us probably don't have an X-Acto knife at home. I don't currently have one. So what I do have is a pair of scissors. And I had to problem solve with this because I had to think about how can I cut it so that the door opens neatly and it doesn't really deter or take away from the overall composition. So that's where the idea for this shadow came in. So I want you to watch and see where I cut. So I'm going to cut very neatly and slowly right along the edge of that shadow. Okay, so what that's going to allow me to do is then I'm going to be able to come up to the line of the door right here and very slowly and very neatly cut along the edge of the door. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and turn my page and I'm going to cut along the top edge of the door. So you want to work very slowly, take your time. You don't want to cut too far. I'm going to stop at that edge, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here and cut along the bottom of the door and where the shadow meets. Now what I have is a door that I can open, okay? What we'll be doing here is we are going to be taking a piece of tape, which I'll demonstrate for you in a second, and we're going to tape the back of the artwork so that we're not seeing tape on the front and so that this lays flat and we don't really see that cut, okay? So I'm going to grab some tape and demonstrate what that looks like for you. Okay, so I've grabbed some tape and I am just going to pull off a very small amount of the tape. What I'm going to do is flip this direction. I'm going to press this together so that the edges are matching up, and I'm going to just tape over that bit, okay? So make sure you're not taping over the door, because if you're taping over the door, clearly you're going to have a hard time opening it. So then what I'm going to do is I'm not going to fold this edge of tape around to the front. I don't want to see the tape on the front of my painting. So I'm going to very carefully, with my scissors, cut that off. Okay. So now that should be enough to help that cut kind of disappear. So that's also the reason, again, for why we put that shadow there. So hopefully it's not going to draw attention to the cut that we used to get into the door. Okay, so now we have a door that opens. We are going to take a ruler and press the ruler right up against the edge of this door. And we're going to do a fold with the ruler in place. This paper is thick and it can be hard to fold, and having that ruler there is going to help us keep a nice folded edge where we want it, and so that it's not going somewhere else. Okay, so we've got the door that opens and closes, so you can always close the door back up. All right, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take a pencil. I'm going to open the door. I'm going to lay this flat, and what I'm going to do is I'm very lightly going to outline, very lightly, right around the edge of this door. Okay, so we've got that done. The next thing you're going to do is you are going to be flipping this page. Okay, and we're going to be drawing the other side of the door and painting it in using the same steps as we did in videos 1 through 3. Okay, so you're going to repeat that process to paint the back of the door only. You're not going to paint anything else. You're just going to paint the back of the door. Okay, for now anyway. We'll talk about whether we want to paint this side of the wall or not, but for now we want to paint the back of the door. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and we'll come back and take a look at what it looks like. If you're having trouble understanding which side or which direction you're supposed to be drawing the door, you could press it down this way and draw the door in through here. So again, you're going to repeat the steps for drawing the door in on this side. Okay, all right, once you have that done, we'll come back and we'll talk about what's going to be behind this door. All right, I look forward to seeing your work soon.